The University of Missouri has launched its search for a new athletic director.
The university announced today that it's put together a search committee of 11 people and hired Turnkey ZRG. That's a firm that specializes in leadership recruitment in college athletics to help them out.
Our ABC 17's Mitchell Kaminsky joins us live tonight outside of Faurot Field. And Mitch, Jocelyn Gates, a vice president at the search firm, is married to men's basketball coach Dennis Gates.
Yeah, Megan Lucas, the new athletic director that is hired, is going to be overseeing Dennis Gates' job security at the University of Missouri. A university spokesperson told me earlier today that Jocelyn Gates will not be a part of that athletic director search. However, an ethics expert at Santa Clara University tells me that even though she's not going to be a part of that search, the appearance that there's a conflict of interest could still be a problem for Mizzou. Turnkey ZRG has a long list of clients that includes the NFL, United States Olympic Committee, and Southeastern Conference. Their firm employs Jocelyn Gates, the wife of Mizzou basketball coach Dennis Gates, as vice president of coaches, college, and performance. Don Hyder, the executive director of the Markkula Center for Applied Ethics at Santa Clara University, argues that even if she is not a part of the search, it still looks like a conflict of interest.
Really, in these cases, when you're making such an important hire that's going to affect the university for a number of years to come and could have an impact on the basketball coach and other coaches, you don't want even the appearance of impropriety of any kind.
I asked the university if it was aware of the potential conflict of interest when it chose to hire Turnkey. A university spokesman wrote in a statement, quote, "Turnkey has confirmed that Jocelyn Gates would not be involved in any part of the Mizzou athletic director's search." However, the university did not provide further comment. Hyder argues that the decision to use Turnkey could still affect the perception of the new AD who is hired.
There's always the chance that somebody, for instance, a candidate who doesn't get the job, is going to make accusations that there was some kind of favoritism there.
Hyder says that there are some safeguards that can be put in place in situations like this to avoid a potential conflict of interest. This includes putting a trusted faculty member or staff member on that search committee that has no vested interest in the search and no affiliation with the athletic department to monitor the process and make sure everything is being done correctly. Reporting live in Columbia, Mitchell.
Mitchell, thank you. Now, we looked into the system rules. Hiring Turnkey ZRG to assist with the search does not violate the university's nepotism policy.